Good afternoon, my name is James and I'm the Children's and Youth Worker here at Broughton Church. Now this lunchtime I want to bring you a reflection on one of my favourite books of the Bible, Nehemiah. Now Nehemiah is found in the Old Testament and it is chronologically of the Old Testament some of the last events we can read before Jesus arrives. The Israelites have been in exile at the hands of the Assyrians, the Babylonians and now are under the rule of the Persians. They have been spread out all over the place and only a few have been able to return to Jerusalem, their home. Now, why do I love Nehemiah? Well, at numerous points previous to this in the Old Testament, we see this great back and forth between God and the Israelites. The Israelites keep turning their back on God and looking for fulfillment and purpose in other things. But God perseveres with them. And you see glimpses of them turning back to God only for something to steal their attention down the line. This back and forth eventually reaches a breaking point when God says that because the Israelites so clearly want to love other things instead, he is going to let them and see where that ends up. And he gets them exiled, captured, taken away from their homes, which are then later destroyed. However, at that time, God also promises that no matter how far they get taken away, no matter where they are, as a result of their actions, he will bring them back. He will gather them and take them home. And this is what Nehemiah is about. Here we see God's promise to the people that have rejected him to worship other things fulfilled. God's love is so big and so vast, and his promises are so true that he leads them back home to rebuild their life. This book not only tells us about how through Nehemiah's leadership and devotion to prayer, Jerusalem was rebuilt in the face of opposition and mockery, but ultimately it closes the first half of the play before the interval with a God who loves his people, making one more desperate bid to see them live and to experience life as it was intended. God once again does the miraculous and once again comes through on his side of his deal. The ball is in the court of the Israelites for us to see how they respond. And as we resume after the interval, with half two of the play, we see God in need of making the ultimate sacrifice to reunite himself with his people. Nehemiah is one part of the epic, exciting, thrilling love story that is the Bible, with as many twists and turns as you could expect from the greatest storyteller. But one thing stays consistent and true throughout it all. No matter what twist and turn may be happening, God's love and devotion to his people remains consistent. It never changes. And the greatest way to see the beauty and majesty of that is by reading all 66 parts of this story and soaking in what you are reading and the narrative we are all part of. Maybe your Bible is picking up dust on the floor or on a shelf. Maybe you don't own one. Maybe you read it a long time ago but have forgotten all that it entails. Whatever your circumstance, buy one, borrow one, dust it, pick it up and read it. Commit to reading it, because the more of it you read, the more certain I am that you won't be disappointed as you connect with our story and as you connect with our God. Thank you for taking this time this lunchtime. I just pray that we will spend time with God today. Spend time in the Bible just reading about the story of his love for us and the means that he goes through to try and demonstrate that love for his people. God, will you be with us today, we pray.